What's going on, everyone? So Christian Wood won't return in free agency. Dallas has moved on. This is the latest reports based on Dallas Mavericks, and they're potentially moving off of Christian Wood. 27 years old, was a solid contributor for Dallas. I'm actually a little surprised that they're moving off of him, or at least not trying to give him some type of contract. He's kind of a tricky one because it's like, what is his value, right? Like, is he? I don't think he's a 20 million a year guy, but a lot of his stats kind of show that he is. Like, he's an 18 to 20 million guy in comparison to like what other players of comparable stats and stuff get. He's kind of had issues, right? There's been a lot of like locker room question marks and stuff with him. Houston Rockets specifically. He was even like suspended for, behavior detrimental to the team or whatever. He is undersized for the center position, which he is probably best at. He's 6'9", 214 pounds. This is a guy that averaged 16 and a half, almost 17 points per game. Also gave about 8 rebounds and shot 51% from the field. So this is a guy that can put the ball in the hoop. This is a guy that can absolutely go get buckets. This is a guy that I think has a lot of value on the right team in the right situation. This is a guy that can also stretch the floor, which is very valuable, especially in today's NBA. And last year with Dallas, he played 67 games, started 17 of them. He averaged about 26 minutes per game. Again, gave you 16 and a half points, 7.5 rebounds, just under 2 assists, averaged 1.1 blocks. So this is a guy that can block some shots. Defensively, he's not great, right? He's solid in a help defender role at times, but kind of one-on-one in an island. He's not like super good. But he's not without his flaws, don't get me wrong, but he is a good free throw shooter. Shoots 77% from free throw line. Again, 50, almost 60% from 2-point range. And he shoots 38% from 3 on 4 attempts per game. So this is a guy that can absolutely spread the floor, knock it down on an efficient clip, especially for a big man, can block some shots, can rebound, can do a little bit of everything. It's kind of interesting, his kind of journey throughout the NBA, and him not really being able to find and establish a home, right? He's got, again, he's 6'9", 6'10", right? Like, he can play the center position. He can play the power forward position. He's best at the center position, especially like with his tools and his intangibles, but you don't really want him guarding like a Jokic or something like that. But I don't know. I think if the Lakers can get him, the problem is money. The Lakers don't have a lot of money to get him. And it's like, what is his market and how much would he be willing to take, right? Because again, how many teams, the only teams that really have money to offer him 15 to 20 million are all tanking teams, right? They're all teams that are projected to be pretty bad. Right. So, he could go to a team like, could he go to like the Spurs, right? Would the Spurs bring him in, kind of go, okay, well, we could have him and Victor Wembanyama. Like, that could be cool. Kind of do a lot of different sets. I could see him maybe getting paid in a situation like that, kind of go into that kind of environment. But any like contending team won't have the money to really sign him to a good deal. So is he looking more for his bag? Which he's 27, so maybe he's looking at it like, hey, I could get one good contract. That would be great. Or is he looking to like find a situation to where he can find a home and maybe contend for an NBA championship? Because if that's the case, the Lakers could very well be that. And Christian Wood and Anthony Davis as your backcourt would be a very good, in my opinion, very good and interesting backcourt. You could have Christian Wood play the 5. Again, don't really know how I feel about him against like the Jokic's and the Embiids of the world, but you could do worse. And very likely, if you were to get Christian Wood, you're getting him for like your taxpayer mid-level, which if you can get him for like $6 million a year, that would be huge. That would be massive. Like, could you get him on like a 1-year prove-it deal? Again, it's kind of a stretch because he's definitely worth more than that. But if the Lakers say like, hey man, like, we like you, you're young, we can see you as a piece for the future, You come to LA, you establish yourself, you show, good behavior. You show that you can be a guy, a part of this team. We're trying to win an NBA championship. You could be a part of that. You could be in the big picture. Like, come here, grind it out. We can pay you what we can pay you. You'll get $6 million this year. You get like 7 and some change the next year. Sign you to a 2-year deal. We can get your bird rights, and then we can try to give you a better contract based on how the market shapes up. Especially once like LeBron makes his decision, stuff like that. Now you're a piece for the future. Now we can give you kind of that last contract. That could be a possibility. Kind of work something out with Christian Wood and hope that he kind of comes in and like, okay, like, I'll buy in. I'm ready to go. I'd love to play in LA. This is a guy that UNLV guy, right? So you'd imagine that he would want to kind of be in California area. I mean, he was born in Long Beach, California, so he's familiar. You get to kind of go home, be around your family and stuff. I don't hate the idea of Christian Wood. I like Christian Wood. I wanted the Lakers to get Christian Wood last season. And now the problem is you're not really going to be able to trade for him because, again, you'd have to do a sign and trade, and Lakers aren't going to hard cap themselves for Christian Wood, especially when you got like Kyrie on Dallas. But I don't know. I'm a little surprised that Dallas is just letting him go, right? Like, it doesn't appear to be any type of offer, anything. Again, little kind of locker room issues seem to be the problem with him. Just his attitude at times kind of seemed to be a big deal. But he was brought in with Dallas to play a bigger role, and he never really got that. So he might have been looking at it as like, you guys told me one thing and you guys did the other. Where if he goes to the Lakers and you kind of just establish and go, hey man, we want you to be the starting center. You come in, or even just the backup, right? Like, be like, hey man, we're going to have you be the backup center behind Anthony Davis. We're going to have you play alongside him on times. You're going to get, 30 minutes a game. And we just want you to play your game here. We want you to have a home here. I think Christian Wood might buy into that, right? Because what is his market going to be on the open market? The only teams that could really pay him are teams that probably need to spend the money elsewhere. The only team that really comes to mind that I think like Christian Wood would make sense with would be, like I said, the San Antonio Spurs, right? Because they kind of use him, play him alongside Victor Wembanyama. That could work pretty well. That'd be kind of an interesting front court. But like, Detroit has money, but Detroit's got like 30 centers and power forwards. Like, Detroit's like all bigs. And then you have teams like, I don't know, like the Indiana Pacers. Now, maybe if they move off of like Miles Turner or something, maybe you get Christian Wood, or maybe you bring Christian Wood in regardless. Maybe Atlanta, if they were willing to, if they end up moving John Collins, but even then they don't have money. Like, the teams that have money don't really have a need for Christian Wood, and especially at like a $20 million price tag. So if you can get Christian Wood at the mid-level, at the taxpayer mid-level, $6 million a year, I think you have to do it, because there's not very many people that would be better than Christian Wood and a need for the Lakers at that price. I don't know. What would you rather, if you're Christian Wood, would you rather go home and make $6 million a year, or be playing overseas, right? Or would you rather go to a team that's just tanking? Like, if you go to the Lakers, you're gonna have a role. You're gonna be playing for a championship. If you just look at the Lakers as like a bridge gap, right? Think of like a Malik Monk, where it's like, okay, like if I go to the Lakers and I'm great and I play the role that they ask of me and I win, then that'll open the door for me so much more to go elsewhere and maybe go get that bag, right? Like, that is something that could very well happen for Christian Wood. You go to Lakers, you take the taxpayer mid-level for a year, you play your role. If you can give us 16-8, then Laker fans are going to love you. So you're going to be a huge factor, a huge piece. You're going to make the Lakers better. You're going to be able to play next to Anthony Davis, back up Anthony Davis, all that stuff, because he's got the versatility. And you have a good year, and all of a sudden you're getting that bag, whether it's with the Lakers or somebody else, right? Like that could be a thing, especially if you win an NBA championship, because now you have champion on your resume, and especially if you were an actual contributor to that. So I think Christian Wood, the Lakers, makes a lot of sense for the Lakers, but I think it makes a lot of sense for Christian Wood too, because he needs to kind of build his image. It's not a talent thing. The guy is clearly talented. Like, the guy is talented. But Houston couldn't get rid of him fast enough. And Dallas, who he just had a great season. Again, he averaged 17 or just under 17 and 8 for them. And was very good for them. And had some very memorable standout moments for them. And they're just going to let him go and not try. Like, that tells me that that's a locker room thing. That it's an attitude thing. And so, go to Lakers, buy in, play your role, keep your head down, and I really think he could have some success. I really do. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you like the idea of Christian Wood? Are you like, yeah, man, Christian Wood would be great. Sign me up. Give me some of that Christian Wood. Pause. But I do. I like the idea. Gives you a stretch big. Again, a little undersized. For the center spot at 6'9", but that's kind of like the NBA we're in. The only bigs that you really have to worry about with Christian Wood would be like Jokic, but it's just another body that can bang, throw at him, play power forward, play center. Maybe you go just sign like a veteran, go get a DeMarcus Cousins to be the third big for when you play, Denver, so that way you can have him just kind of bang and wear him down over the course of a series, and then you have Christian Wood and Anthony Davis, and Christian Wood could play next to DeMarcus Cousins and all that stuff. So I don't know. I like the idea of Christian Wood. I'm a fan of Christian Wood. Again, somebody that lives in Las Vegas. I'm very familiar with Christian Wood. I wanted Christian Wood on the Lakers for the last 2 years. It hasn't happened yet. Maybe this is the time. Maybe this is where the Lakers can get him. But the only way the Lakers could really get him is to sign him, which means he would have to be willing to take that price, take that discount. That's up to him. But it also supply and demand. What's the market look like for him? But anyway, again,